Hello and welcome to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast. I am Craig Forrestall. I am That Sports Guy. Go ahead and find me on Twitter at that_sports_guy, where you can find all of my latest football takes. Also, NFLDraftDiamonds.com is proud to feature the That Sports Guy podcast on its website. Stop by NFLDraftDiamonds.com, your official draft coverage king. Hello and welcome to another edition of That Sports Guys podcast on NFLDraftDiamonds.com. You know me as Craig Forrestall, a.k.a. That Sports Guy on Twitter. Go ahead and give me a follow at that_sports_guy. But as we've come to realize, it's not about me when we get on these. It's all about the player at hand. And today we are lucky to have Quinn Meinerz, offensive lineman from UW Whitewater. Quinn, how are we doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just kind of got done with my workout for the day and getting ready to kind of recover a little bit tonight and just kind of keep moving throughout the week.
So what type of workout did you just put yourself through? Was it something that's getting you geared up for the season, or was it like an off-day workout just trying to keep the muscles and the juices going?
Yeah, today was a great workout. We got a lot of agility and some plyometric type stuff in to really kind of build athleticism. Since gym started to reopen up in May, I've been working out at Next Level in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Before that, I was kind of working out in my basement when everything was closed up and doing stuff in the backyard as well.
Definitely. And now, you said that you were back home, so I'm assuming that's going to be your hometown of Hartford, Wisconsin. Quinn, what's a typical day like in Hartford when you were growing up?
Yeah, I grew up in Hartford, Wisconsin. You know, a typical day for me was not very, similar to anybody else. I was a three-sport athlete in high school, so most of my life really revolved around, being an athlete and doing sports. I did football, wrestling, and also track. So there's very, few periods of time where I wasn't, at a gym working out or practicing for the next sport. So, a typical day for me was, waking up, get some breakfast in, go to school, after school, work out, and then after workout, eat dinner, do homework, and go to bed and just keep doing the same thing. So I've kind of just always been in a rotation, even now, of just, always working out and trying to stay in shape.
Definitely, but to break it up, not even a lake or anything to go fishing, a movie? Anything in town to get you off of the field, or no, it's just a tiny little place?
Yeah, Hartford is decently small, but we have a nice little movie theater in town, and I guess the main thing is Pike Lake around here. There's a nice hiking trail, and you can kind of go up on top of this tower, and you can see Holy Hill. It's really big, cool building, and I'm not the best at tubing, but it's definitely a fun thing because when I weigh 300 pounds, I kind of get whipped around a little bit different than some of those other people.
Absolutely. And now I just got to ask you, Quinn, you're at UW Whitewater, and for a D3 school, they've put a handful of guys in the NFL, including one of your recent teammates. If you could just talk to the culture and the player development that goes on with the Whitewater football program, because compared to a place like Alabama or even something on the FCS level like Illinois State or Northern Iowa, your facilities aren't as expansive and the resources aren't as plentiful as there are some of those other schools. So maybe if you could just talk about how you guys get after it.
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess kind of like the thing to start off with is, you get what you put in. I've put in, everything into this program, and I'm getting out, the potential that I can play in the NFL. So, we have a great weight room, and kind of we share it with the public. So, but we also get priority because we are athletes. We have a great coaching staff at Whitewater. As well as great training rehab facilities. We have a cold tub, we have a hot tub, we have an underwater treadmill. So the recovery and stuff like that is similar, I would say, to a Division I type program, but a lot of people kind of get mistaken that think Division III is that much, different, but I'm still getting up at 5 in the morning, just like those Division I guys, to go work out in the morning and do those things and have meetings and film and all these things. It's a very similar day. It's just that, we don't get scholarships, I guess.
Definitely. And now let's stick right there with the NFL and the work that gets put in and everything right there surrounding Division III football. I'm familiar with Division III football myself. I grew up right on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin, so I'm familiar with a lot of the CCIW and other Division III conferences right around there, and also the WIAC. So I just got to ask you, do you think that with your emergence, with the emergence of Ben Barch from St. John's and being drafted this year, and like I said, the other Division III alumni that are in the NFL, do you think people are starting to take Division III football a little bit more seriously, or their eyes are starting to open up to, like you said, you are getting up and doing the same amount of work as the guys at the bigger schools?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of, scouts and stuff like that are taking, hey, maybe we should take a closer look at some of these, lower division guys and kind of see what we can do. Like, it's not like I'm a small, 5'8" offensive lineman in Division III. I'm 6'3", 320 pounds. So, I guess comparably numbers-wise, I'm just pretty similar to a guard and center in the NFL, just looking off of those numbers. So, it definitely seems like there's been a trend of, hey, let's look at these lower level guys, see how they move, see how they play, and give them a shot. And it seems like it's been working in their favor, to take these, I guess, chances with these lower level guys.
And now, with those lower level guys, let's stick with the offensive line. A former teammate of yours, Nate Truin, and then also this year, Ben Barch. If you could just speak to the impact that Nate had on you and what you learned from him, and then also when you played St. John's in the playoffs this year, did you catch yourself watching any additional film, watching Ben Barch and just seeing how you measured up to him as a D3 guy that was getting NFL buzz at the time?
Yeah, Nate Truin was, truly amazing to have, to be able to play next to him as a sophomore. Just, game prep and just his just knowledge of the game of, hey, these are the rules of the offense, but if the defense comes out in some different thing, you just run the numbers at the center of doing your count of who's front side, who's back side, and just, understanding the game on a different level of looking at where the safeties are lined up, looking at how the corners are, and just being able to, that upper level of, thinking when it comes to, playing football. For me, I didn't really do anything extra or special with Ben Barch. I know he was a great tackle for St. John's, and it was cool to shake his hands, at the coin toss, and then say what's up to him after the game. I guess I would say I didn't really watch any special films. He was like, I kind of just have always been on I'll kind of doing my own thing and doing my own path, because I know a lot of people have been bringing up, am I the next Ben Barch or something like that. So I just try to keep staying on my own path, because I think I'm unique in some ways. Not to discredit Ben Barch and that stuff.
Oh yeah, no, but absolutely. But to your point, when you're coming from the smaller levels, it's always the most recent guy, and then who's the next. So it only makes sense that we went there where people are considering you to possibly be the next Ben Barch. But I do want to stick there because you're getting preseason buzz. You're getting a lot of preseason attention as a Division III lineman. Usually in these scenarios, when the Division III linemen pop up, it's a little bit later in the senior season, or we're getting into that November-ish time frame. That's when they're really starting to get on those all-star game type of watch lists or pop up there as a possible consideration. But you're already there. You talk about doing things your way. How do you block that out and just keep doing things your way?
Yeah, I think the biggest help is that I've never really been super involved in the social media. I know it's kind of cliche for some people, but I really like to just kind of stay away from it. I have it just because I feel like I kind of have to, at this age and with my generation. But I guess the big person that helps me out is one of our offensive line coaches at Whitewater. His name's Owen Reese. He's done a really, great job of, helping me. I was more on the social media side and kind of getting my name out there, because being a Division III guy, it's pretty hard to have people see you. And I'm really, thankful that, the right people have, and it's kind of continuing to grow in the right direction from my perspective.
Definitely. And I want to touch upon how the season ended for you and the rest of the Whitewater team. You came up just short of a national title. If you could talk about how that's being used as fuel for the upcoming season, or if that's not even being used as fuel for the upcoming season because of the winning culture there, and you have a way of going about your off-season program. But what would it mean to you to walk out of Whitewater with a Division III title?
Yeah, it would be truly something, special to be able to, go all the way and win the national championship. But that is something that, we don't talk about at Whitewater. It's just about going 1-0 every week and sticking to our process every week of, working hard, focusing on the details, and, winning a national championship will be a byproduct of staying disciplined in those categories. Last year, we got there, but we didn't finish the job. So the thing I've been, saying to myself every day and kind of telling other people is, whatever you did last year was not good enough. If you thought you worked hard and you did really well, it wasn't good enough. So being captain again this year, trying to be more of a vocal leader and kind of, help push this team, to keep working hard and, to get to that level so that way we can be national champs the next season.
I saw that you were working a little bit on some offensive line versatility this offseason. I heard you mention that you've been working a little bit at both guard positions and then also in the middle at center. How comfortable are you snapping the ball, and is that something that you're working on for an in case of emergency situation, or is that just something to have another tool in your bag?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a little bit of everything. I think it's just good in general to be good at, all three of those positions, left guard, center, and right guard. I know I'm good at left guard because I've been playing it for the last 2 years, but hey, where can I get better? And it's, instead of just being, working left guard stuff, it's working everything, because I think showing the versatility, looking at the next level, if that's a real opportunity, showing that I can play three positions, that's, important when you're trying to get on the travel roster, so that way they can only travel one offensive lineman that can play all three. Another thing is, I guess you never know what could happen in the season for next year at Whitewater. Maybe I could, go to center or go to the other guards position. So I guess it's just a little bit of everything, of adding more tools to the tool belt, as well as, if anything were to happen this next season, I'm prepared.
And then if you were to get an invite to a postseason all-star game, would you want to show off your center skills there as well? Would you want to show off for NFL teams that you do have the ability to snap the ball as well? Would you be willing, or would you want to do that?
Yeah, I would definitely want to do that, because I think it would just be another opportunity to show how I think I'm a little bit different and with my work ethic, and how I've been really taking this chance very seriously that, has been given to me, and it would just be an honor to be able to go to one of those games and just kind of show teams what, Division III is all about and what I'm all about.
And Quinn, you hit the magic word there. You said work ethic, and I think this is the perfect place to bring this up. Again, in my research, I saw that you have family that operates a fishing camp in Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. My great uncle Tim, he owns an island up in Canada, in northwest Ontario, and every summer he's been hosting a fishing camp from Saturday to Saturday. You can book a trip up there and go fishing for the week. And the last 2 summers I've been spending my summers up there, working and just, putting 3 months up in the middle of nowhere on an island, and, you get 1 hour of internet a night and no air conditioning, and just, kind of roughing it for a couple months, and I would lose like 30 pounds up there because it is hard work up there in the bush.
And I want to touch on some of that hard work because I just have to know. I saw that you were moving fuel tanks that weighed roughly a couple 100 pounds, but also you were clearing areas for boats so that way they could get in and out. And then I saw in order for you to get your running in, your conditioning in, you had to ride an ATV through the woods to get to an open spot to run.
Yeah, I'll correct it. I didn't lift up multiple 100-pound fuel tanks, but I definitely did have to move them. There were 55-gallon drums with gas that we would have to bring in. So I would say they're roughly, I think, 300, 400 pounds. So yeah, those are definitely a hard thing to move around. But yeah, so in order to get to the spot where I would run, because I didn't really want to run in the middle of the woods. There's roots and divots, and I didn't really want to try to twist an ankle. One, because that's not good, and for two, it would make it that much harder to get out of the woods and to get back to safety. So yeah, I would take the boat to an area, drive the four-wheeler through a place that I cut out, and I would get to the logging road. So it's just like a big gravel road in the middle of nowhere, and I would do my runs on that gravel road.
And you said that you're up there for a couple of months and there's virtually no internet. You're cut off from just about everything. How peaceful is that? Does it just allow you to reset and really clear your mind for the upcoming season?
Yeah, for sure. I think I get maybe 4 days after my finals, and I'm already packed up, and I'm driving 12 hours up to the island, and it really is a nice break away from everybody. I think that, that 1 hour a night that I was talking about before, to kind of reconnect, to kind of stay a little bit updated with what's going on. But it's really nice to really take a break. I think a lot of people, that's why they enjoy taking those week trips up there and just fishing and relaxing and just kind of staying away from everything. And if there's something that's going on that someone needs to contact you, they can't. So there's no you getting stressed out over something because you're just that disconnected and just with nature, which is always awesome.
And Quinn, what is, I guess, your favorite daily chore and what is your least favorite daily chore? Because I'm assuming you're going to be moving those fuel tanks because that's going to be my least favorite. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, my favorite chore actually is so we have these like 100-pound propane tanks that we have to that fuel like the ovens and the lights and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I like lifting those up, putting them on my shoulder, and then walking them to wherever cabin. It's kind of a fun thing for me to do. The least fun thing is to cut the grass on the island because it's super rocky and there's nothing flat, so you can't use a lawnmower. So you have to cut the entire island with a weed whacker, and that takes about 3 8-hour days of just doing that to get it done. So that's definitely the worst job.
I'm sorry. Pardon my chuckle. I was trying to keep it together while you were going through that. But I'm just picturing a man your size, 6'3", in the 320 neighborhood, using a weed whacker, going through just, like you said, areas. And you said it's 3 8-hour days it takes you to do that. I guess, what is the most frustrating part about that? How do you keep yourself from going crazy doing that for 3 days straight?
I'll definitely say music helps a little bit. And another thing is just, that's what needs to get done. That's the job. It keeps the bugs out and just it looks nice, and it's just that's what needs to get done. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just kind of like going back to kind of the work ethic and how I kind of approach things. And it's, hey, the grass needs to get cut. It's going to take 3 8-hour days. It's not going to be fun, but once it's done, it'll look really nice, and everything will be better.
Definitely. And Quinn, we've spent a lot of time on football and Canada and just getting to know you. But I just want to finish it off with a couple of questions. The first one probably is going to be the most difficult, or it's going to be the one that your teammates are going to give you the hardest time about. And that is, what is that one song you're embarrassed to admit you like?
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of, kind of different types of music. I really like the electronic side of things. So I was kind of actually hoping to go to Ultra Music Festival this year, but everything got canceled, due to, the COVID-19, like everybody's talking about. But it would definitely have to be, like, I think it's called A Lot Like Love by Oliver Heldens.
So that's the song that you're embarrassed to admit you like. Why are you embarrassed to admit that one?
Well, I guess I've always been kind of self-conscious about music, and a lot of people that I know like listening to country around here, and I can't do country music, and the people that listen to country music can't do mine. So I guess that's where I'm kind of stuck at.
That's the intersection. That's where the two meet. So that's why. Quinn, what's the dream car?
For me, I think I'm kind of in my type of dream car. I have a Chevy Silverado right now, 2007. So I really enjoy my truck, because before that I had a Volkswagen Jetta. So it was not fun getting into that Jetta every day. So it would definitely have to be a truck. But I guess if we would go to something a little bit fancier, maybe like one of those Ford GTs from the racing games.
Mm-hmm. And now, what's been the most interesting or memorable class that you've taken at Whitewater?
Yeah, that's a great question. Recently, I took this class called Exercise Physiology, and one of the interesting things we did was I was doing a stress test of I can't remember what the specific test was called, but it was named after somebody. But I had a mask on my face and my nose plugged so I could only breathe through my mouth. And then I was running on a treadmill at 6 miles per hour, and then every 3 minutes they would raise up the treadmill like a degree. And it was basically a run until you can't. And every 3 minutes I would get my finger poked with a needle so that they could check my blood lactate level. And I took bets with the teachers of how long they thought I could last, hoping that they would kind of, doubt me a little bit. Like, oh, you're not even going to get close to 10 minutes. And I ended up, calling it at 18, and they were just surprised the entire time. And the funny thing with my teacher is he kind of looked at the entire class and he goes, "Just so you know, this is not normal." So I kind of felt like a zoo animal. Like, people were like, "Hey, you should be watching this because he's doing something that most people can't."
Hey, that should be an automatic A for the class just for that right there.
Yeah, I was sweating so much.
Oh, I imagine. So now, once you got done with that crazy exercise experience, I'm sure you were hungry. So what's the best restaurant near campus? What's the best restaurant around Whitewater?
The best restaurant to go to is Cozumel. It's a Mexican restaurant. I love getting the big burrito that they have there. I mean, the plate, it's got to be almost 2 pounds of food, and that's just, you get a little bowl of queso on the side, and then with a Sprite, that's just, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, so you've put in some time. You got it down. The bowl of queso on the side, it goes best with the Sprite. So, I'm going to stop by Cozumel. You sold me on it. And now, Quinn, before we get out of here, I'm going to ask you, if you won $1 million, but you could only donate it to one charity or one cause, what would it be?
For me, I kind of have a personal connection to something. I'm not sure if it would be the best way to spend my $1 million, but my offensive line coach in high school, his daughter has, I think they call it GLUT1, but she has a hard time getting glucose to her brain, so she has seizures all the time, but they don't know how to fix it, because I think she's the only person in the world that has this disease. And with constant medical stuff and things like that, I think I would donate it to their foundation that they have set up called Hugs for Elena. He's kind of helped me really kind of get, being able to play football at Whitewater, and kind of really helped jumpstart my career with playing football, and has really helped me through a lot of things. So that would be one thing I would like to, help him out, because he's helped me so much.
That's a great answer, Quinn. And before we sign off, go ahead and let everyone know what is that one thing that we need to be on the lookout for with the Whitewater program this year.
Yeah, for the Whitewater program, I know we're hungry to get back in there and have another great season and get back to the national championship because I think it's time.
You heard it here first from Quinn Meinerz. He thinks it's time that UW Whitewater gets back to the D3 national championship game. And for Quinn Meinerz, I'm Craig Forrestall. Until next time, stay safe and be easy.
Hey everybody, Craig Forrestall. Thanks for tuning in and listening to another episode of That Sports Guys podcast. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at @that_sports_guy to catch all the latest updates and podcast episodes. Until next time, stay safe and be easy.